is day 5, which is the final day. And for all of you who are there currently, thank you so much. Firstly, thank you so much for joining in and staying till day 5 and continuing the journey with us. And today, I'll not make it late, I'll not take much of time, but yeah, we'll get started with day 5, which is the final day. And really hope that you get something. You must get something out of the entire boot camp. So yeah, over to you, Himanshu.
So, first of all, good evening, everyone, whoever has joined today. And sorry for yesterday, there was a work unavoidable that actually came around 5:30. That's why I have to reschedule it. But the response has been quite amazing. I'll say that I did not expected that. I was expecting that some people might join, 25 to 30 people, then it will decline over a period of time. But seeing 5 to 6 faces that have been constant, like from day one till day five, it actually
Right.
boosts me also, right? Yes, chalo, kuch to बढ़िया हुआ है. So I
Yes.
believe that as I am happy, you all are also happy about this. And don't worry, from tomorrow I won't irritate you sitting in front for 2 hours in a screen.
Yes. Yes.
So
Cool.
let's start this on a high note. So if everyone is excited, just give you a thumbs up. Then we'll just move on with 2D arrays and we'll solve some mind-blowing questions. Okay, okay. So let's start this session. First of all, what we'll do is that I guess uh, arrays, 2D arrays, I guess, if I have to say, we knew that. Let me just present my screen. I guess the screen is visible. Okay. So as we knew that we knew arrays, right? All we talked about in our previous lecture was 1D array, like simple one line arrays. But I guess everyone has a concept of matrix. So matrix is actually 2D arrays that is comprised of rows and columns. This same concept of rows and columns you have studied earlier and very nicely. We have studied it when we are studying patterns. We looked very nicely like what were rows, what were columns. And in that we dealt with patterns that were stars, spaces, numbers and everything. In this 2D arrays, it might basically be numbers. All the questions which we'll tackle in 2D's array are basically of numbers. So we'll see of numbers only. I guess like these things are clear, like basics of 2D array. Like this one is the row, from left to right is row, from top to bottom are columns. If you want to iterate into this 2D arrays, you have to iterate one by one. For example, just like you remember, we used outer loop from row. For row, we used outer loop while we we're printing the patterns. Then we used an inner loop for columns. Then we actually printed our pattern, whatever we used to print, right? So I guess this basic is clear. I'm not deep diving into much of that how we print or something like that. Can I directly skip to questions and start solving questions if everyone agrees? What you say? One thumbs up. Yes. Okay. Okay. So let's directly start. So first question that I'll give you in front of you all is the question of diagonal sum. So this is a 2D array. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is a 2D array, right? Over here we have to find the diagonal sum. Now people might think कि भैया diagonal sum तो क्या ही होगा, इसको कर लेते हैं ना. Diagonal sum मेरा क्या होगा, ये होगा, right? Sum of these elements will be my diagonal sum. But remember one thing, there are basically two diagonals that are present when I ask about diagonal sum. This one, which everyone knows, is called as prefix diagonal. It's called as primary diagonal. What I'm saying, primary diagonal. And the second diagonal is this one, which is called as secondary diagonal. So basically, there are two diagonals present, that is primary diagonal and secondary diagonal. So if you add this primary diagonal or if you add this secondary diagonal, so our answer, total sum, diagonal sum, that is we have to calculate, should be sum of secondary diagonal plus the primary diagonal, right? So this should be our sum. Let's see what it is. 6 plus 1, 7. 7 plus 11, it's I guess 18, and this is 34. This primary diagonal sum is 34. You can also do side by side. This is 34. And over here, if I see, it's 10, 7, 20, 30, 34. So basically, both are 34, right? So we have to add. So our answer should be 34 plus 34, that is 68. But how, like, how can we add? First of all, we know that we have to iterate through every items, right? We have to go here, we have to go here, we have to go here, we have to go here. Like we have to check all the elements that is present in this 2 cross 2 array, or 2 cross 2 multi-dimensional array. You can say, sorry, not 2 cross 2, two directional multi-dimensional array. And over there, you have to see that the current element which I'm standing is my diagonal or not. But how do I find out that it's diagonal or not? Simple, you can see, just observation, right? Let's do an observation. By matrix, we know this is zeroth comma zeroth. If I'm doing it using 0, this is 0 comma 0, this is 0 comma 1, this is 0 comma 2, this is 0 comma 3, right? Similarly, this is 1, so 0 comma 1, this 6 right here, right? This 6, can I say this 6 is 1 comma 1, right? Can this be then 11 over here, 2 comma 2, this over here, 3 comma 3. So first of all, just look for the primary diagonal, which I'm saying. This is my primary diagonal, right? Using the indexes of matrix, can I say one thing? My primary diagonal has elements like 0, comma 0, 1, comma 1, 2, comma 2, 3, comma 3. So we know that I and j are the indexes, right? We all use it when while printing the loops. When you used to normally print an array, you used to say array of I. In two dimensional, we say array of I and j. What does it basically means? I and j can have any value. For example, 0, 0. So it means array of 0 and 0. Right? The first element is I, second is j. So 0 and 0. 0 and 0 means this array of 0 and 0, 1. So you get this element. So you see all the elements that are present in the primary diagonal has indexes like 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. We can do one observation from here, that whenever my I is equals to j, actually I got a primary diagonal element, right? The next element will be here, that will have 5 comma 5 as an index, right? So whenever I have I that is equals to j, I have my primary diagonal element. This is my observation for primary diagonal. Similarly, if I say, what about my secondary diagonal? What are my secondary diagonal? See, this is my secondary diagonal. First of all, 0 comma 3. This is my secondary diagonal, 3 comma 0, right? This will again be my secondary diagonal. Similarly, this will be my secondary diagonal, right? So over here, if you see, it is 0, 0, it will be 1, 0, sorry, my bad, the row is changing, 1, 0, then it will be 2, 0, it will be 3, 0. Similarly, when it is 0 1, this time 1 0, oh sorry, 1 1, this is 2 1, it will be 2 1. When we come over here is 0 2, this one is 0 2, this one is 1 2, this one will be 2 2, yes, this one is 2 2, and we are focused about this one, this will be 2 2, 0 2 1 2, this one 1 2. So you see, the elements that we have in our secondary diagonal are what? 3 0, 0 3, 1 2, 2 1. Right, I am writing this for secondary diagonal. We have all these elements, right? These are the elements that are present in my secondary diagonal. Just look at this and just think that what can you say from here? Like, is there something that can be deduced? And one more thing, remember, these diagonals will only come for square matrix when number of rows are equals to number of columns, right? Because then only the diagonal elements will fulfill, because it is 4 cross 4 matrix, so we have all the diagonal elements. So number of rows equals to number of columns. So from here 3 comma 0, 0 comma 3, 1 comma 2, 2 comma 1, are we seeing one pattern that I plus j is nothing but n minus 1, that is number of to how many number of rows I have, one less than that. See, 3 plus 0 3, 0 plus 3 3, 1 plus 2 3, 2 plus 1 3, so it's nothing but n minus 1. So we saw one thing, if it is primary diagonal I have to do nothing, it is I double equals to j, I equals to j. When it is secondary diagonal, I see that I plus j should be equals to my n minus 1. So if I write it in the code, can I say that I'll just run a loop, the inner loop, oh sorry, the outer loop. How much the outer loop? I said outer loop run for rows. I'll run my outer loop for rows, inside which I'll run another inner loop for all the columns. Inside the columns, I'll say, first of all, I'll check if I is equals to j. This is a condition for primary diagonal. I'll say sum में जो भी whatever is the sum, just add array of ij. Again after this I can say अगर ये condition नहीं है, if it is not my primary diagonal, else if I can say one thing, that this same condition I plus j is equals to n minus 1. This same copy paste, right? सम को प्लस कर दो array of ij के साथ. And if it is nothing, if it is not primary diagonal, not a secondary diagonal, do nothing. So you see, this one will actually give me the sum of primary diagonal, and this one will actually give me the sum of secondary diagonal, right? So यहाँ पे sum में primary diagonal भी add हो रहा है, secondary diagonal भी add हो रहा है. So we can say कि yes, चलो काम तो करेगा. So just let's quickly look at it. Let's create a new Java class file. Let's say some of Java. So first of all, let's create a 2D array. One, two. Oh, my bad. First of all, let's print all the elements that are present over here. Let's say we all know that number of rows. Let n be the number of rows. It's 4, right? Over here, you don't have to write for columns. Why? Because you already know that n number of rows and columns will be same. Before that, just let me say you one more thing. You know that whenever you declare a 2D array, the 2D array is basically what? Like it will be stored like this part, then this part, then this part, then this part. It's stored in a single fashion. It's not that कि इसके नीचे ही आएगा, इसके नीचे ही आएगा, नहीं. It's stored like this, right? So as we used array dot length, so if I want to find the number of rows, similarly can I say arr dot length? Why am I saying arr dot length? See, number of rows मतलब क्या है? arr और इसका लेंथ क्या आएगा? इसका लेंथ 4 आएगा. दैट इज ओनली माई नंबर ऑफ रोज ना. ये नीचे रहता, ये नीचे रहता, ये नीचे रहता. सिंस इट इज इन अ स्ट्रेट लाइन, कैन आई से कि इसका जो भी लेंथ होगा दैट इज माई लेंथ ऑफ द 2D array, like that is number of rows. But what about columns? If I see about columns, see इसके अंदर there will be some items. Assume there are 5 items inside it. Similarly there will be 5 items over here also, and so on. So can I say the length of this is basically my number of columns? Because देखो columns तो इसी के नीचे आएगा ना. The number of this, like I said, this all, ये हुआ, ये हुआ, ये हुआ, ये तो रोज है. बिकॉज वाई? बिकॉज ये इसके नीचे पूरा का पूरा आ जाएगा. सिंस इट इज इन कंप्यूटर इन द मेमोरी, वी आर सिग्निफाइंग इट लाइक दिस. वो तो हम लोग बनाने के लिए मैट्रिक्स को वैसा बनाते हैं. सो ये तो क्लियर है. नंबर ऑफ कॉलम्स कैन वी से कि एक बॉक्स के अंदर जितना भी बॉक्स है दैट आर नंबर ऑफ कॉलम्स. सो वी नो दैट इसको दैट इज दिस इज जीरो से इंडेक्स, दिस इज फर्स्ट इंडेक्स, वी नो. सो वी कैन से कि एरे ऑफ जीरोथ वाला जो भी एलिमेंट है उसका जो लेंथ है that is nothing but my number of columns. So arr of the arr dot length, normal length function will always give you rows, and when you need to find columns, जो भी उसका जीरोथ इंडेक्स है उसका नंबर ऑफ उसका लेंथ निकाल लो बाहर. क्यों? क्योंकि देखो जीरोथ इंडेक्स का इसके अंदर जितना भी एलिमेंट्स होगा वो रिटर्न करेगा. जैसे इसके अंदर 5 एलिमेंट्स है तो लेंथ क्या रिटर्न करेगा? 5 लेंथ रिटर्न करेगा. और नंबर ऑफ कॉलम्स तो 5 ही है ना, इसके नीचे तो सब बैठेगा. So first of all is number of rows and number of columns clear? How we are finding number of rows and number of columns? Any doubt in number of rows and number of columns? Okay. So if now we know that number of rows, number of columns हो गया मेरा. So see, फर्दर लाइक इसको सिंप्लीफाई करने के लिए हम n को 4 ले रहे हैं बिकॉज इट्स अ स्क्वायर मैट्रिक्स वी नो. सो डेफिनेटली n क्रॉस n ही बैठेगा. लाइक उसमें 4 क्रॉस 4, 5 क्रॉस 5 ही होगा. तो उसमें नंबर ऑफ रोज लो, नंबर ऑफ कॉलम्स लो, उतना कोई मैटर करता नहीं है. सो व्हाट आई सेड फॉर इंट सी आई डिड नथिंग. यहाँ पे हम लोग क्या किए? वी प्रिंटेड फर्स्ट, वी प्रिंटेड आवर मैट्रिक्स. सी वी प्रिंटेड इट 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. यहाँ पे हम लोग क्या किए? सिमिलरली आउटर लूप नंबर ऑफ रोज आई इक्वल्स टू 0 के लिए जे कितना बार चलेगा? जे विल रन फ्रॉम 0 to 3. सो यहाँ से क्या प्रिंट होगा मेरा? 0,0 0,0 प्रिंट होगा, 0,1 प्रिंट होगा, 0,2 प्रिंट होगा, देन 0,3 प्रिंट होगा. Once 0,3 is printed, then we are giving a new line. New line में आ गए. उसके बाद i का वैल्यू क्या हो जाएगा? i का वैल्यू 1 हो जाएगा. For the value i equals to 1, j runs from 0 to 3, right? Like 1,0, 1,1, 1,2, 1,3. That will print me 5, 6, 7, 8. दिस वी हैव डन लाइक इसका ड्राई रन हम लोग बहुत अच्छे से पैटर्न में कर चुके हैं कि हाउ एक्चुअली टू लूप्स वर्क्स, वन इज फॉर आउटर वन इज फॉर इनर. सो वी हैव प्रिंटेड दिस. हम लोग का लेकिन मेन क्वेश्चन क्या है, वी नीड टू फाइंड द सम. सो लेट्स जस्ट इनिशियलाइज अ वेरिएबल सम इक्वल्स टू 0. अभी हम लोग को सम का पता नहीं. वी नीड टू रन टू लूप्स, ये तो हम लोग को पता है कि हाँ दो लूप तो हम लोग को लगेगा ही, एक आउटर एक इनर. एंड इनसाइड द इनर लूप वी न्यू, I'm just removing this for the time, print statements and all. Inside the inner loop, we knew. First of all, we need to check if my I is equals to j, I have to add ARR of ij. Nothing. ये मेरे को सम में ऐड करना है. फॉर एनी वन हु इज हैविंग कंफ्यूजन कि हम यहाँ पे कैसे लिख दिए, सो ऑलवेज रिमेंबर दैट यू कैन इंसर्ट इट इनसाइड दिस, नो प्रॉब्लम. लेकिन अगर तुम्हारे पास सिर्फ एक स्टेटमेंट है, एक स्टेटमेंट, सो यू कैन omit द यूज ऑफ दिस कर्ली ब्रेसेस, राइट. एक स्टेटमेंट तक यू कैन omit दिस. अगर देयर आर मल्टीपल स्टेटमेंट्स मोर देन वन, यू हैव टू डेफिनेटली यूज कर्ली ब्रेसेस. For example, if there was one more statement, here was one more. For example, there was three statements, and you have not used this curly braces, so the compiler will only run your first statement and will ignore the two statements. So if there are more than one statement, better use curly braces. And if you want to increase the readability, since there is only one statement, you can omit using curly braces, no problem for that. And this plus equals to is an operator, this is nothing but sum equals to sum plus. So we write it that plus equals to minus equals to, these are all operators. So over here what we are basically doing, this is calculating my primary diagonal sum. Similarly we need to check again, else if अगर ये कंडीशन नहीं है, सेकेंड कंडीशन वन I plus j should be n minus 1, डबल इक्वल्स टू कंपैरिजन ऑपरेटर. अगेन सेम, सम में आई जे को ऐड कर दो. दिस टाइम क्या होगा, यहाँ पे प्राइमरी की जगह दिस टाइम दिस विल एक्चुअली डू कैलकुलेशन फॉर सेकेंडरी डायगोनल. एंड वंस एवरीथिंग इज डन, जस्ट प्रिंट आवर सम. लेट्स रन दिस. See 68, 34, 34, right. We can do one thing, like for better clarity, let's say int प्राइमरी का सम को 0 रखते हैं, एस सम को भी 0 रखते हैं, राइट. सो ओवर हियर दिस इज प्राइमरी सम, दिस इज सेकेंडरी सम. सो विल प्रिंट ऑल थ्री. Over here this sum is equals to p sum plus this sum. See, primary sum 34, secondary sum 34, and total sum 68. So our code ran perfectly, no issues with the code. Any issue with this code? But before that, let's see one thing before this. Over here only, let's see in the code editor. See, as I told you, there are two loops. This is a outer loop and this is an inner loop. So can I say one thing? There are n minus n number of elements, right? See, there are 4 elements in first row. Then there are 4 elements. So can I say one thing? जब I का value 0 होगा, so how many times are we actually doing it? 4 times. Inner loop. I का value जब 0 है तो inner loop 4 times चल रहा है. 0 0 0 1 0 2 0 3. I का value 1 है तो भी 4 times चल रहा है. I का value 2 है तो भी 4 times चल रहा है. So we can say I का value अगर 0 है तो 0 के लिए n टाइम्स चल रहा है, 1 के लिए भी n टाइम्स चल रहा है, 2 के लिए भी n टाइम्स चल रहा है. सो बेसिकली क्या हो रहा है, इट्स इफ देयर आर n नंबर ऑफ एलिमेंट्स, इट्स एक्चुअली n क्रॉस n, n स्क्वायर, बिकॉज देयर आर टू लूप्स. सो द टाइम कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी ओवर हेयर, if we calculate the time complexity that we have actually used in solving this is order of n square. Any issue with this code or clear? Only one clear, others and Ajmeri Shabazz clear. Okay. अच्छा, व्हाट इफ आई से यो कि एन स्क्वायर को छोड़ के वी कैन डू इट इन ऑर्डर ऑफ एन। एन स्क्वायर बहुत ज्यादा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड हो गया, राइट? इतना करना ही नहीं है, दो लूप चलाना ही नहीं है अपने को, सिर्फ एक लूप चलाना है। एक लूप के अंदर वी विल डू इट इनसाइड वन लूप, एंड आई विल जस्ट गिव यू अ हिंट। We knew I will be equals to j, and also I plus j should be n minus 1. Just think for 1 minute, just 1 minute, एक लूप के अंदर क्या कर सकते हैं हम लोग? Can I do it in 1 minute? Oh, in one loop, single loop. So let me give you one more hint, और इसको आसान बना देते हैं. Single loop I was saying for, let's say I ran the loop from 0 to n minus 1, that is 3 itself, right? 0, 1, 2, 3 itself we ran the loop. N number of times we ran the loop. Over here, can I say one thing? I is equals to j. Over here मेरे को क्या चाहिए basically? 1, 1, 0, 0, 2, 2, 3, 3, यही ना चाहिए मेरे को प्राइमरी डायगोनल के लिए अपना? Isn't it ARR of I, I itself? रख के देख लो, जब 0 के लिए आई होगा तो 0 के लिए 0, 0 होगा, 1 के लिए 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3। मेरे को तो ये सब से मतलब ही नहीं है ना, 2 से मतलब नहीं है, 3 से मतलब, मेरे को तो अपना डायगोनल एलिमेंट्स चाहिए। मेरे को मिल गया मेरा प्राइमरी डायगोनल्स, चारों डायगोनल्स, ये वाला कंडीशन है। एंड वन मोर थिंग, आई सेड दैट I plus j is equals to n minus 1. So from here can I substitute the value of j as n minus I minus 1? देखो मेरे पास n भी है, I भी है, 1 भी है. So when I is 0, let's do over here. When I is, value of I becomes 0 for the first time, j का वैल्यू क्या होगा? n is 4, 4 minus 1, 3, 3 minus 0, 3. तो यहाँ से मेरे को एक आउटकम मिला 0, 3. When I is 1, value of j becomes 3 minus 1, 2 minus 1, right? 4 minus 1, 3 minus 1, 2, 1, 2. Similarly, you do when I becomes 2, you'll get 2, 1. When I becomes 3, you get 3, 0. Isn't this for the same this that we required for secondary diagonal? So over here, can I say one thing, that instead of doing so much, let's simply run a loop of I that ranges from 0 to n minus 1, inside which we'll say that the primary sum is nothing but primary sum plus I, I, right? This is my primary diagonal. There is no condition over here. Why no condition? Because we are already providing condition over here inside this. See, inside the array itself कि I मतलब दोनों इंडेक्स सेम होना पड़ेगा, 0, 0, 1, 1, which we did. Rather, like we are providing what I, if I is equals to j, then only add I, j. But over here we are providing the condition inside only कि दोनों इंडेक्स को सेम रहना पड़ेगा, तभी प्राइमरी डायगोनल को ऐड करो. और जो मेरा सेकेंडरी डायगोनल है उसमें तुम ऐड करो ARR ऑफ I, और J के जगह हम लोग क्या किए थे, I, और सॉरी n minus I minus 1. Let's run this. See, 34, 34, 68. Perfect. No issue. So primary diagonal, secondary diagonal. So अब देखो यहाँ पे क्या चला, एक ही लूप चला, वो भी n नंबर ऑफ टाइम्स. सो आई कैन से कि इसका जो टाइम कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी है that is nothing but it's basically order of n. Any issue with the second approach, order of n? So कहाँ we were dealing in order of n square, right? इतना बड़ा कोड लिख के दो तो suddenly it boiled down to only order of n. So I guess like this was the code for diagonal sum. You can do it in two ways: order of n square, order of n. Order of n just required a bit of calculation. And देखो ये जो भी calculation है, if you think that if you sit once और एक बार में click कर जाए, ऐसा नहीं होगा until and unless you practice, right? Like for example, you are doing this question. Once you have used this question, but once you have done this question, now if any new type of question comes, you'll give it a thought like this, that I need to play with I and j, let's add karke let's find what's the relationship or something like that. So if you do, then only you can means reciprocate or you can again implement it. But without actually getting to know this, if you sit, so first time you have to like you have to see something. I guess it's clear. First question done. Any issues with the first question? Yes, no, anything, maybe. Was this question too hard or like something ki bahut zyada? Yeah, it's clear. Two of you said it's clear, clear. I believe the question was, I guess, not too tough, but I won't say too easy because it's from 2D array. But as I told you that we'll just increase a bit of difficulty. We'll do some good questions, right? So should we move to another question, second question of the day? If yes, then either react or say. Then we'll move to second question. And it's me. Okay. Okay. So let's move to another question. Similarly, if I say you one thing, there's a box. This is a very easy question, right? And this you need to do. I won't. I'll just tell you all the concepts that are related, and after that you will say, "अरे भैया क्या question बोल दिया आप ये तो ऐसा भी question होता है क्या?" Can I say one thing? Let's this be 10, 20, 30, 40. So actually the question is search in a sorted matrix. This matrix is a sorted matrix where we need to search. For example, you take any value that you need to search. The value can be, for example, mm, let's actually let's make it bigger because there are arrows and everything that needs to be made. So the question is basically search in a sorted matrix. Sorted matrix means see over here. If you see any element, for example, if you see 10, if you move downwards, you will get all the numbers that are greater than 10. If you move right, you'll get all the numbers that are greater than 10. If you say 37, move down all the numbers greater. move right, all the numbers greater, move up, smaller numbers, move left, smaller numbers. So basically, it is sorted. In what fashion? That if you move down or if you move right, you will get all the greater numbers. If you move up or if you move left, you get all the smallest number. So over here, the question that lies is that you might be given a number, for example, 35, and you have to say whether this 35 actually exists over here or not. If it exists, return true, and if does not, return false. So this is basically the question. The first approach that comes to your mind is that let's actually iterate through all the elements. Let's iterate through this and check it's 10 equals to 35, then this, then this, then this. So we'll just iterate everywhere, right? And we'll check all the time, like whether it's equal to 35 or any given value that we need to find. So which will basically take order of n square time complexity, because we have to iterate through the entire array. But is there anything that we can do, since the question has already stated that it is sorted, right? Sorted array, search in a sorted array, this 35. And we also need know one thing, that if we move right, the numbers will be greater. If we move down, the numbers will be greater. If we move left, numbers will be smaller. If we move up, the numbers will be smaller. Over here, you need to know one thing. The first thing that you need to know is that you need to start from diagonal element. For example, this. Let me take this element. Can I say if I take this diagonal element and compare, is my 40 equal to 35? This is false. I know that 40 is greater than 35. So there's no need of moving down, because all the numbers will automatically be greater. 45 or 48 or 50, everything will be already, it will be greater. So there's no need of me moving down. So I can say that let's move left. Why? Because left has number which are smaller. For example, then if I move left, I reach to 35. Oh, sorry, 30. This time 30 is equals to 35. Again, this will give me false. But this time I have a number that is smaller. So there is no need in moving left, because this time again all the numbers will be smaller. So move down, because I know when I move down the number which will be greater, and I come to 35. 35 equals to 35. This time true. So return true. For example, if my number was 29 instead of 35, so I again knew that 35, it's greater, right? So there's no need in moving down. I must move left. 25, it is less than 29. No need of moving left. Move down. See, you get 29. You yourself said we were using n square number of steps over there. That was 4 into 4, 16 steps. We did 16 comparisons. For example, you need to find this element using the normal approach. What you did? 4, 4, 8, 4, 12, 12 comparison, 13 comparison instead we say. But using this say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 or 7 means half. So we are basically doing it into log n time. Instead of n square, we are doing it into log n naught time. So can I say that I can start from this, that is basically my diagonal element. How can I give my diagonal element? As I said, number of rows, number of columns, same over here also. So I can say diagonal element, see, this is the zeroth row. This entire is the zeroth row. And what is the column? Column is 0, 1, 2, 3. That is m minus 1. That is number of columns minus 1. So I can say this is nothing but ARR of 0 and m minus 1. This is my element. Over here, see one thing. We need to go left until when? Till when should you go left? As long as you are inside this border, right? As long as you are not crossing it, right? And till when should you go down? As long as you are not crossing this limit, this lower limit. So just let's remove all this for the time being. Okay, so let's remove this also, whatever we did for the timing. So we took 40 as our element, which was array of 0 and m minus 1. I said this is my row. I initialize my row to be 0. For me, the row is 0 and column is nothing but m minus 1. There are two variables. The row variable which I am taking at 0, and the column variable which I am taking it's m minus 1. Instead of I and j, normal I and j, I am taking row and column this time. You know, this row, right? This row will change and this column will change. Either you have to do row plus plus, like you have to increase the row. If you need to go down, you have to increase the row by 1. The row will change from 0 to 1. And if you have to go left, it will actually, you have to decrease the column. So we know we have to loop, while loop. There will be some condition inside this while loop. Let's look at that condition after some times. But we know that if, simple binary search, if array of, let's say, row and column that we are taking is equals to the key value, if this is the case, return true. If this is not the case, else if the element that I have actually found is greater than my key value, I know I have to move left, column minus minus, or else row plus plus, because I know in this else the element will be smaller and I have to move down. So see, in this we are checking if it's equal or not. Over here we are seeing if it's greater, move left, column minus minus. If it's smaller, move down, row plus plus. But what's the condition inside the while that will actually iterate? So how long do we need to iterate this? I say row can go at most till this. So can I say row should always be less than n, that is the number of rows, total number of rows. And can I say कॉलम तो लेफ्ट में जाते जाते यहीं तक जा सकते हैं ना. दिस इज द जीरोथ कॉलम, अब माइनस वन में थोड़ा ना जाएगा. कैन आई से द कॉलम शुड ऑल्सो बी ग्रेटर देन और इक्वल टू 0. दिस शुड बी द कंडीशन फॉर माई लूप. ये इस वाइल लूप के अंदर बैठेगा. अगर ये वाइल लूप के अंदर बैठा तो वी से व्हाट वी से रो शुड बी लेस देन n एंड कॉलम शुड बी ग्रेटर देन इक्वल्स टू 0. Let's try run for 35. I need to find 35 is there in the array or not. Row 0, column m minus 1. Column is 3, row is 0. पहला कंडीशन, is row less than n. n is 4. यहाँ पे सब ले लेते हैं. कॉलम हो गया 3 और n हो गया मेरा 4. These are my values for the time being. See, over here 40. ये है मेरा first element that I need to start with. While row less than n is 0 less than 4, true. Column greater than 0, 3 greater than 0, true. Go inside. Is this element equals to key element? No. Is this element greater than my key element? Yes. Column decrease by 1. So column actually becomes, I'm writing it, column becomes 2 this time. When we come over here, again it goes into while loop. Is row less than n? Is 0 less than 4? True. Is column greater than 0? Is column 2 greater than 0? True. We check if it's equal to k or not. No. If it's greater, no. Only condition left, that is smaller. Row plus plus. Row increments to 1. We come over here. Then again we check, is row less than n? 1 less than 4? True. Column greater than equals to 0? True. 2 less than 2 greater than equals to 0. Check this. Is 35 equals to 35? It becomes 2. You return true. So you see, we are doing it in order of log and time complexity. But more specifically, you can say one thing: it's not order of log and completely, because there are some cases. cases where actually, how can I say you? Acha, let me say you. Let's say if there's an array something like this. Let's Are you all clear with the approach? Then only I'll go into time complexity. Any problem with the approach? Okay, clear. Sahbaz is clear. Anyone else? Adrija, Snika. Okay, so let's go to the time complexity. See, this is a. I am taking two arrays that are not actually square. Over here also you can apply this. It does not mean to be a square matrix. In rectangular also you can apply. And just let's look at an observation. Can I say over here, it's nothing but n cross m matrix, and it's also, you can say, what you can say, n cross m, right? Over here, n is greater than m, n is very much greater than m, and m is also very much greater than n. What is basically this? Number of rows are more compared to number of columns. Number of columns are more compared to number of rows. So what can be the worst case scenario over here? Can I say, if I am starting from here, I can go this and then I have to travel all this element. Sorry, I have to travel all this element, right? So I say that I am traveling n number of elements, the number of elements that are present in the row. So order of n is for this. Second, if I'm starting from this, what can be my next case scenario? I can go here, then I have to travel all. So I'm actually traveling all the number of columns, order of m. So we always, whenever we say time complexity, we say worst case time complexity, that what can it take my algorithm, right? So it can either be order of n or it can order be of m in worst case. So average case where something in between or anything like that, we can say roughly it is order of m plus m, where n is number of elements that are present in the row, m is the number of present in the column. So this is a rough time complexity analysis of this algorithm, which is very much better than n square, right? n square to kahan pahunch gaya tha? At least we have brought it down into linear time complexity. Any issue? I guess you all can code because I have given you everything. डाई रन भी करा दिए. I have given you the while loop condition. उस while loop के अंदर क्या लिखना है? Everything has been given. Clear? Question? Shahbaz is clear. अच्छा. If you are do one thing also, I have told you कि यहाँ से start करो, right? You can start from here also. यहाँ पे तुम्हारा conditions change होगा. You have to play with the conditions. यहाँ पे क्या होगा? You have to move up and you have to move right. When the number is greater you have to move up, when the number is smaller you have to move right. So conditions will change, column plus plus row minus, everything will change over here. So if you are very much confident in this approach, if your code is running very well, try starting doing with this, like the diagonal elements, right? Try doing it the diagonal element. Clear? So let's take a break for 2 to 3 minutes, then we'll be doing spiral matrix, the OG of 2D array. Until then, if you have to ask anything, say anything, you can just do that. Or else, over to you, Aditya. You can just enlighten us a bit.
Oh, what's up? What's up? What's up? I see new people today. चलो चलो कोई ना कोई ना. There's always a good time to start. Oh, there's forgot it. Leave. Cool. So on a scale of, as I ask always, on a scale of 1 to 5, how much are you guys liking today's session? Just comment it, guys. What do you think? What do you think? Five. Arish, Shabazz, bro, always five. Others. 5 out of 5. It's interesting. Awesome, awesome. Five. Arey bapre. Five. Everyone five? Really? Others? 4 out of 5. Okay, no worries. Room for improvement. Four. Koina, koina. And what is the difficulty like you are feeling today compared to yesterday? Matlab day 4. 5 out of. Okay. Hmm. Any problems, Rukshar? Uh, okay. Got it. You mean 5 out of 5, I guess. Chalo, कोई ना. Anyone wants to give any feedback or um, anything wants to discuss about today's session, yeah, previous sessions, any doubts, any feedback, we are open away, right? You can unmute and you can, just talk. Just need to practice more from my side. True, bro, true. Right. I mean, practice is always like for everyone, right? From a non-technical to a technical person, uh, practice is what it makes us perfect, right? So, say we'll keep practicing. Any other thing apart from practicing?
So let me ask you one thing, like before moving forward, I want every one of you to reply to this. So actually, when I was asked for this DSA session, so the first thing that was inside our mind was that uh, we might not teach you everything. Like I don't want it to, and it's not possible also in 5 days to teach you everything. But I wanted to give you a glimpse of DSA, like if DSA had to, like how it's done, how other types of questions, or how can we tackle them, how can we improve our scope, how can we say them in our interview, the approaches, or how can we use lead code. So I guess I've there are some of the questions you will find directly on lead code. I've given you everything. You just copy paste the same code, it will run smoothly on lead code. So I believe that we were able to make this one a bit of productive, like productive.
True.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's it's not possible to learn. Yes, it's not possible. Yeah, when you buy a course, they actually sell it for 9 months.
True.
Yes, it's like it's log and से भी कम.
हाँ, क्रैश का क्रैश कोर्स कर रहा है.
क्रैश चल रहा है यहाँ तो.
Nice. कोई ना. But
It
I
was
think,
just we bought some of the questions that were interesting जिसको करके थोड़ा like ऐसा ऐसा questions are like these are the questions that we are visualizing, right? Visualize करके at least we are getting to understand कि चलो क्या चल रही है, पता चल रहा है. For the non-coders who have just started coding, they can at least visualize and see the logic behind it. Code तो तुम लिखते रह सकते हो, code सीखने के बाद तो तुम code लिख सकते हो. First of all, it's your problem solving. तुमको logic लगाना आना चाहिए. So I believe that is being clear over here कि logic कैसे लग रहा है. Like for example, if you do this after 10 days, you remember the logic. अच्छा यहाँ पे ये logic लगा था इसीलिए यहाँ पे ऐसे हुआ था.
hmm, right. Let's see.
Let's resume from 45. We have the spiral matrix. It will take time, and also it's like easy but झमेला बोलते हैं ना, like it's a bit hazy but it's easy.
Nothing is always clear.
Hmm.
Nice, nice. Oh, by the way, are you guys posting on LinkedIn कि नहीं कि छोड़ दिया कि मन आलसी लग गया कि what is up? What is it? I think few were posting. Prabhas was posting and a few more. But yeah, just make sure guys you post at least today's one. Yeah, what you can also be doing is by the way, I forgot to mention. So we are giving away something, a physical object, a physical gift to one of you guys who is. So I'll tell you the what are the metrics that we'll be looking at. So we'll be giving away that uh, object or gift right after, probably when everyone comes to college. So then we'll be giving it offline may, but huh, so the few of the main things that we will be looking at is ki whether you have posted about firstly ki posted about our bootcamp or not. It could be everyday posting, day 1, day 2, day 5, to or overall sum up of the sum up of, yeah, you can say a wrap up post about from day 1 to day 5 key, what are the things that you have learned and stuff like that. So yeah, posting would be there. Another aspect is whether you have completed your homework and uploaded in your GitHub. So you all can share your GitHub IDs right after the meet. Then we'll be finalizing with one person, and yeah, that's pretty much about it. We will also be looking at key attendance, who was consistent throughout day 1 to day 5. But yeah, these are the main things. Or make sure to stay till the end, or keep interacting, keep reacting. Yeah, that's pretty much about it. Yes. Try if you can get it. Chalo, chalo. Cool. Well, she doesn't have yes, yes, yes. I'll be updating the questions out there, so you all can check the questions and solve them. No issues.
So let's start with
Yes.
spiral matrix. So as I was stating that the right, what is spiral matrix? We have been given this normal array. Instead of printing it normally like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, this way, we have to print it in a spiral manner. And what is that spiral manner? We have to print it like this. First we have to print this, then we have to print this, then this, then this, then this, then this, then this. So it's basically like this. We are making a spiral until and unless we are reaching our end goal. Seems a bit complicated, right? कि क्या चल रहा है भाई, पहले आप कैसे भी इसको ऐसे प्रिंट करा दे रहे, फिर ऐसे करा दे रहे, ऐसे मतलब क्या ही कर रहे हैं, कुछ भी तो चल रहा है अपना मन से. See one thing, if I take four variables, for example, this is my starting row. For example, this is my starting column. This is my starting row. Let's say this is my ending row and this is my ending column, right? Four variables. You have to print this first, then this, then this, then this. Can I say one thing? I have to print this, right? First one. What is constant over here? Is this constant? And is column changing? So in order to print 1, 2, 3, 4, can I say I run a loop from starting column to my ending column and I print array of starting row which is fixed and this variable which is changing from starting column to ending column, right? Once I do this, after that, what I need to do? I need to print this. See, once I do this, can I say that again I have printed this? I don't want to come again to this row because why? After printing this, I have to print this, then this, then this, then this. So let's look at it afterwards. So first of all, can I say if I have to print 1, 2, 3, 4, I have to use this concept. Starting row is common. Let's run a loop from starting column till our ending column. Let's print them, right? Now I have to print C, this one. I've already printed this. I have to print 8, 12, 16. I have to print this, right? Can you say one thing? Ki this 8 is nothing but starting row plus 1. This whatever we are printing 8, 12, 16, ending column is common. But what is changing? See, row is changing. So row is changing from starting row plus 1 to ending row. Row is changing, and once the row is changed, we know we need to print nothing but this our variable and our ending column because ending column is constant in this. See, ending column is constant in this. So we have printed for the time being, we have printed 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 12, 16 using these two. Then I have to print this 16, 15, 14, and 13. Over here, can you see this ending row is constant? What is changing? The column is changing. You are currently here, right? Can I say the loop is actually running from ending column minus 1, which is this position, till our starting column, and we print nothing but ending row and this looping variable, whatever the looping variable we have been looping. It will print me this whole part. Once this whole part is printed, I am left with printing 5 and 9. Same concept. See over here, the starting column is constant. There is no change with starting column. Right? And what are we doing? We are learning the loop over here from ending row minus 1 to starting row plus 1. So can I say run a loop from ending row minus 1 to starting row plus 1 and just print this I, the looping variable, and the starting column. Are this the four things that we need to do? See what I said. First of all, we need to print this 1, 2, 3, 4. We saw चार वेरिएबल बना लेते स्टार्टिंग रो एंडिंग रो स्टार्टिंग कॉलम एंडिंग कॉलम. अब यहाँ पे देखो मेरा स्टार्टिंग रो तो फिक्स्ड है. व्हाट इज चेंजिंग स्टार्टिंग कॉलम से एंडिंग कॉलम तुम जानना है. आई रन अ लूप स्टार्टिंग कॉलम टिल एंडिंग कॉलम. यहाँ मेरा लूप चलते रहेगा. कभी यहाँ आएगा फिर यहाँ आएगा, फिर यहाँ आएगा, फिर यहाँ आएगा. सो ये लूप अपना काम करेगा. And what I need to print? I need to print starting row and this loop variable, क्योंकि starting row तो common है मेरा. Once I have finished this, I know I have to print this one 8, 12, 16. फर्स्ट सी कि क्या कॉमन है. एंडिंग कॉलम कॉमन है, एंडिंग कॉलम प्रिंट कर रहे हैं. बट मेरा रो कहाँ से वैरी कर रहा है? रो वैरी कर रहा है स्टार्टिंग रो प्लस वन टू एंडिंग रो. Why we are using starting row plus one to ending row? Because these are the variables that we have already created, right? Starting row variable है, ending row variable है. So starting row plus one to ending row we have already created. यहाँ से लेके यहाँ तक का वेरिएबल चलेगा एंड ये प्रिंट होगा. Once we are at 16, we know यहाँ पे क्या कॉमन है. यहाँ पे अपना एंडिंग रो कॉमन है, तो एंडिंग रो को तो पहले रख दिए. और लूप कहाँ से चल रहा है? देखो 16 we have already printed, there's no need to print it twice. So ending column, this is the ending column minus 1 till our starting column, ending column minus 1 to our starting column. Only glitch over here is that you don't have to run your fourth loop till the starting row because one has already been printed. यहाँ पे तुम्हारा ending row minus 1 to starting row plus 1 में चलेगा. After this, see, our first box has been printed. Can we apply the same trick over here? This. But you see, this box has been already made, right? Now we have to go and we have to actually apply the same thing in this box. So can I say update this starting row 1, bring it here. This starting column, bring it here. Ending column, bring it here. Ending row, bring it here. Now see, starting row is here, ending row is here, starting column is here, and ending column is here. So I got the inner box. So can I say if after this, after printing the outermost rectangle, square, whatever it be, if I say increase the starting row by one, increase the starting column by one, and decrease ending column and ending row by one, I will get something like this. If this is my outer one that I've already printed, I will get this. Again, I'll print this. Then I'll get this. Again, I'll print this. Then I'll get this. Again, I'll print this. I'll get this. यही तो करना है ना. देखो टक 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 ऐसे. We are moving, right? We are basically moving. So this is what we need to do. समझ में आया the conditions that what we are doing. Any issues as of now? I said it's a bit complicated, but it's on understanding that what we are doing. Or should I repeat once more? Clear. So Shahbaz is clear. Anyone else? Once more. Ion once more. Okay. So see what I said. We have four variables: starting row, starting column, ending column, and ending row. We have actually made this four variables. We have set the four variables. Starting row is set to 0. Starting column is set to 0. Ending column is set to whatever be the column value, that is number of columns minus 1 since it is 0 based indexing, and ending rows is number of rows minus 1. In spiral matrix, what I said you have to print it in this fashion: 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 12, 16, 15, 14, 13, 9, 5. So let's first print 1, 2, 3, 4. जो हम लोग को प्रिंट कराना है 1, 2, 3, 4. In order to print 1, 2, 3, 4, can I say कि यहाँ पे मेरा starting row तो fixed है. The thing that is changing over here is column. First I have to print 1, मतलब column 1, then column 2, then column 3, then column 4, right? So starting column is basically changing over here. Row तो fixed है. So I looped from starting column to ending column and I printed starting row that is fixed along with this looping, that is j. I have just taken it for j, this looping one. I ran this much 1, 2, 3, 4 printed. उसके बाद क्या प्रिंट करना है मेरे को? 8, 12, 16. In order to print this 8, 12, 16, can I say यहाँ पे मेरा ending column same है, but what is changing? See, the rows are changing. Row is sometimes row is this, then the row is increasing, right? So can I say it's basically from starting row plus 1, that is the first row. My starting row was 0, but I need to print it from 1 till ending row. So starting row plus 1 till ending row, we need to print ARR of the looping variable that is looping the row and the ending column, that is constant. Now once 16 is printed, I need to print 15, 14, 13. No duplicacy. Over here also, it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 8, 12, 16. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 12. So in order to remove duplicacy, what I say when I'm printing 15, 14, 13, my ending row is fixed. Columns are changing. Columns are changing from ending column -1 to starting column. Similarly, when I'm going for this 9 and 5, over here there's a single glitch. You don't have to go till 1 because 1 has already been covered. Over here 13 has already been covered. Starting column is changing, sorry, starting column is fixed. The rows are changing. Rows are changing from ending row -1 till starting row +1. So we have printed the outer box. Once you have printed the outer box, in order to get inside, in order to go inside and apply this again, because see, again if we run the loop, if again we do this, that starting column is not changing. In order to print 6 and 7, should my starting row be present over here, right? Then only I can print. If I'm not updating my starting row, again though I'll get 1, 2, 3, 4. That's why I am incrementing starting row by 1, starting column by 1, and decrementing ending row and ending column by 1. So that my starting row comes here, starting column comes here, ending row comes here, ending column comes here. So that again I can do this, 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 and I'll get my answer. Understood? Any problem? Okay, I understood. So see, one thing over here. Tell me one thing. When I'm printing this, right? Or when I'm printing this, I have to print this, then I have to print this, then I have to print this, then I have to print this. Over here, a single element can be present, right? Inside. For example, I'm printing this. A single element is present, for example, 3. For example, 3 is a single element that is present inside. Or you say that you can say 3, 2, there are two elements present inside. Can there be a case कि अगर मेरा जो ये वाला already, if both are same, for example this above ending, like my starting row and my ending row are same, they are overlapping, एक ही रो है मेरे पास, starting row ending row एक ही है मेरे पास. So can I say कि मेरा starting row जो number of elements, for example there is 1, 2, 3, 4, these are the elements present, and starting row and ending row is pointing to the same row. एक ही तो रो है, तो एक ही रो को तो पॉइंट करेगा. तो स्टार्टिंग रो तो मेरा 1, 2, 3, 4 प्रिंट कर देगा. फिर उसके बाद जब घूम के आएगा, लाइक ये प्रिंट हो गया, इसमें कुछ प्रिंट होगा नहीं क्योंकि एलिमेंट्स है नहीं. फिर जब ये प्रिंट होगा तो फिर से तो मेरे को वो 4, 3, 2, 1 प्रिंट कर देगा. बट मेरे को चाहिए तो नहीं, आई ओनली नीड 1, 2, 3, 4. Similarly, if I have columns overlapping, so if I have printed my columns using this right hand side, the same reverse will be printed using left hand side. Over here, see, if 1, 2, 3, 4 was only present, 1, 2, 3, 4 was only present, and I know I have to move like this, like this, like this, like this. This is step number 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. Can I say, अगर मेरा 1, 1, 2, 3, 4 step number 1 produces 1, 2, 3, 4. When I go to 2, nothing is produced. But when I go to 3, it will produce me 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, which is what I'll get. And if I have something like 4, 5, 6, 7, similar way can I say 4, 5, 6, 7 will be provided by 2 and 6, 5, 4 will be provided by 4. क्यों? क्योंकि एक बार ये चलेगा तो दूसरा बार ये भी तो चलेगा. बट ये कंडीशन कब चलेगा? जब स्टार्टिंग रो और एंडिंग रो सेम हो और स्टार्टिंग कॉलम और एंडिंग कॉलम सेम हो. तो ओवर हेयर कैन आई से कि यू प्रिंट दिस, नो प्रॉब्लम, यू प्रिंट दिस ऑल्सो, नो प्रॉब्लम. But when we are returning, for example, when you have printed this and this, now when I am returning back for this third, over here I need to check one condition. अगर मेरा starting row is equals to my ending row, you just break. कुछ नहीं करना है तुमको, तुम ऑलरेडी प्रिंट कर चुके हो मेरे को. सिमिलरली यहाँ पर भी when we are returning we need to see कि क्या ऑलरेडी राइट हैंड साइड वाला चीज प्रिंट हो चुका है यहाँ पे हम लोग का क्या होगा, स्टार्टिंग कॉलम इज इक्वल टू एंडिंग कॉलम, अगर ऐसा होता है तो ब्रेक। जस्ट टू कंडीशन, अगर नहीं होता है एल्स के अंदर ये चलेगा, इफ के अंदर ब्रेक होगा, एल्स के अंदर चलेगा। क्यों? क्योंकि ऑलरेडी द राइट इज प्रिंटिंग यू दिस। अगर सिर्फ फॉरगेट अबाउट दिस, ओनली यू हैव 4 8 12 16, तो एक बार तो राइट तुम्हारा प्रिंट कर ही देगा ना, फिर लेफ्ट से क्यों प्रिंट कराओगे तुम, दो बार तो डुप्लीकेसी हो जाएगा। सो फर्स्ट एंड सेकेंड यू आर प्रिंटिंग इट नॉर्मली, एक ही बार चल रहा है। इन ऑर्डर टू चेक दैट नो डुप्लीकेसी इज डन, वी सी कि क्या तुम ऑलरेडी 1 and 3, 1 से प्रिंट हो चुका है, अगर 1 से प्रिंट नहीं हुआ है देन प्रिंट होना, और अगर 2 से प्रिंट नहीं हुआ है देन प्रिंट होना। एनी इशू विद द कोड, या समझ में आया? अच्छा, शहबाज डन, एनीवन एल्स? लाइक आई नो इट्स अ बिट कॉम्प्लिकेटेड होता है ना, और डू यू नीड वंस मोर? See, I won't be coding it right now. I will give you the code around, I'll just send it in the WhatsApp 10:30. You all understand it, write it somewhere in your copy. Because देखो, अगर अभी हम कोड करा देंगे, तुम लोग अगर अभी छोड़ देते हो इसको, so there is a lit, like तुम खुद सोचो, like there is small errors that can happen over here. Like this loop, if ending row -1 से तुम starting row +1 नहीं जाके starting row चल जाओगे, तब तुम्हारा काम नहीं होगा. This break condition, you also need to visualize, right, कि starting column से ending column तक जाएगा, तो मेरा starting row पहले फिक्स होगा. एक बार स्टार्टिंग रो फिक्स होगा तो मेरा क्या होगा, स्टार्टिंग कॉलम फिक्स, एंडिंग कॉलम फिक्स होगा, फिर एंडिंग रो फिक्स होगा, उसके अंदर क्या लूप चलाना है, राइट? सो सी इट्स अ लूपिंग कंडीशन, सो वी कैन से कि वॉट एवर इट बी, what I need to do, simple thing is that, like, while first of all the condition needs to be done, four condition that I have given you, and we know that we have to loop, like while loop. ये काम कब तक होना चाहिए? देखो, ये सारा जो भी काम है ये कब तक होना चाहिए, यहाँ पे जो हम बोले, यहाँ पे देखो, यहाँ से लेके यहाँ तक. So you know that my starting row, whatever be my starting row, can never exceed my ending column or ending row. अगर ऐसा हो गया तब तो हम भाई बाहर ही आ गए, क्या ही करना है चला के. और जो मेरा स्टार्टिंग कॉलम है वो भी कभी एक्सीड नहीं होना चाहिए मेरा एंडिंग कॉलम का, राइट? इसका ही तो मतलब है ना कि हम अंदर है. अगर फॉर एग्जांपल यहाँ पे मेरा ये बॉक्स है, ये मेरा एक एरे है फॉर एग्जांपल, अगर स्टार्टिंग रो ये है मेरा, स्टार्टिंग कॉलम ये है मेरा, और एंडिंग कॉलम ये है, इसका मतलब बॉक्स के अंदर है. अब मेरा स्टार्टिंग कॉलम यहाँ से यहाँ पहुँच गया, तो ये तो हम एरे के अंदर ही नहीं है. दैट्स वाई अगर ये मेरा कंडीशन है, देन ओनली आई नीड टू राइट ऑल द 4 स्टेप्स, जो कि मेरा 4 कंडीशंस था, और 4 कंडीशन के बाद आई नीड टू अपडेट माई वेरिएबल्स. द 4 कंडीशंस, अपडेशन कैसे अपडेट होगा, एंड द व्हाइल लूप. एनी इशू विद दिस? एनीवन? Understood, or do it needs to, I have to repeat it once more? Adriza Ati, understood. So do one thing, give it a try. Okay, no problem. अगर नहीं भी होता है तो no problem, I'll share you the code, I'll give you the code. कोड देने में it's like I'll just give you the code. You first do it on yourself, like सारा looping variables लगाओ, खुद से देखो कहाँ पे क्या loop चल रहा है, कैसे चलेगा. After that, once when I give you the code, if it is done, well and good. If it's not done, see कि कहाँ पे error हो रहा था, ठीक है? और like गिव इट अ बिट ऑफ टाइम, इसको मतलब सोचो कि मतलब यहाँ पे ये फिक्स्ड है, अच्छा इसको यहाँ से यहाँ चलाते हैं, फिर इसको यहाँ से यहाँ चलाते हैं, इसको अपडेट कर देते हैं, ऐसे करके देन इट विल बी सिंपल फॉर यू. अगर इफ आई डायरेक्टली गो इन टू कोड एंड आई कोड इट, आई एम डैम श्योर दैट कल तक में तुम लोग भूल जाओगे इस चीज़ को. सो you all code, you all say me, like, should I give it today itself around 11 or 11:30, or you require time, and should I provide the code tomorrow? Just you can type it accordingly, I'll just give the code. If it's today, just type T. If it's tomorrow, say, you can like type tomorrow for TOM or anything like that. Tomorrow, Adrija, tomorrow, okay. So I believe the concept is clear behind spiral matrix, right? Any issue with spiral matrix? Was it hard? First of all, was this question hard or complicating? What do you believe? I believe it's not hard, but it's complicating. Like it tests you a lot. Anyone like everyone okay with this question? If it's you're okay, just give a thumbs up.
Yeah, just react maybe.
See, before wrapping up the session, I'll give you a cheat code. Okay, like this cheat code can be helpful to you. For me, it was helpful. When you start solving questions from DSA of arrays, strings, something like that, you might see that for the time being, the questions are very easy. Two sum, short numbers, short zeros and ones, binary search, linear shop, very easy questions. Suddenly, the level increases. Find an element that appears only once, something like that question. Or in string, then letter that appears twice, or letters that appear once. So I'll say you all, whenever you are doing strings, arrays, and before jumping into linked list and all, just do hashing, a bit of hashing. I won't say you deep dive into hashing. Just see what hashing does. What is it approach? It's very easy. Hashing is like you if you code for 2 to 3 times, hashing will be clear. With hashing, the questions becomes so much easy, and also like after that you will have grow a tendency कि चलो इस क्वेश्चन को हैशिंग से ही बना लेते हैं. And most of the question that will come, I guess, in product based companies or in your hackathons where it's easy to moderate, you see ki hashing plays a very important role. There are problems like you can say isomorphic string, anagram strings, two sum problems, contains duplicate or not, missing number. This all you can do using hashing also. So just a cheat code for the ones. And so I believe the questions that I brought today was I hope you all liked it. And before wrapping up, thank you for joining this 5 days boot camp. But I hope that I utilized your time well. You did not feel like yeah, okay, I just wasted the time or something like that. And let's see if again something like this happens or anything like this. We'll again meet you in some different topics or anything like that. For the time being, just all the best for everyone who is having your exams and everything. Exams are also coming. So all the best and thank you a lot.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Exams, so never ending only. So that's always there. But yes, yes. So I'm just, So you guys have, yeah, yeah. Awesome, awesome. So you guys have the access for turning on the microphone, and if you have any feedback, firstly, we would love to hear any feedback or anything, just random out of your head regarding the boot camp. We would love to hear about it.
Yes, you
So
can
you guys,
just give like the experience of 5 days, right? Like it might help me also. For example, if somewhere if I deliver something else also, I might keep this in mind or something like that. So it will be great hearing because I have been speaking for 5 long days, right? Now let me also hear something.
right? Anyone? Shahbaz, let's begin from you, if you're okay. You can talk about कि ज़्यादा speed था या it was the space was good or the questions were good. Anything in your mind.
भैया सेशन अच्छा था। मतलब हिमांशु भैया का जो भी था वो समझ में आ रहा था। ऐसा नहीं था कि एक पर्टिकुलर लेवल का पर्सन के लिए खाली था, वैसा नहीं है। सबके लिए एक था कि हाँ अंडरस्टैंडेबल है। अच्छा था सेशन ऐसे।
Cool, cool, cool. सही है, सही है. Anyone else? Ishita, Bhaskar, Adrija, Snigdha, Ayan. Anyone? No one? सबको कुछ भी नहीं बोलना है. I like the short tricks and hack sauce. सही है, सही है, सही है. That's cool. Was helpful. Cool. सही है. Yeah. Awesome. ठीक है. I think thank you so much for joining in. We started about with how much? 50, nahin, 35, 40 people approx. And hmm, right. So we started with that many pool of people, and ended up right now with probably 7 people. And I think that's a good number still, considering the complexity and the topic we are discussing. And the best part is ki most of you are from first year and second year, so I don't know why third year is not still not getting thinking ki it's important, but हाँ कि it's great guys कि फर्स्ट सेकेंड ईयर में तुम लोग DSA के बारे में इतना जान चुके हो. And honestly speaking, and like even हम लोग का बैच में और even other seniors also, उनको DSA का actual उसके बारे में हाँ सॉरी, सो एक्चुअल DSA का नॉलेज क्या होता है या DSA में क्या करना पड़ता है एग्जैक्टली, टिप्स एंड ट्रिक्स जो भी हिमांशु भैया ने डिस्कस किया था, it takes a while to understand. And not everyone just gives or spill the bean, because सब लोग को तुमसे आगे जाना है, राइट? व्हेन यू आर इन योर बैच एंड द कंपनी इज कमिंग, यू विल फील सम काइंड ऑफ कि सब लोग अंदर ही अंदर कर रहे होते हैं, तो सब लोग नहीं बताएंगे कि ये इधर से करो उधर से करो बोल के. And I think this boot camp was very successful in terms of giving you the knowledge from someone who just got hired. But yes, what was I about to say? Mm, yeah, just so if you guys like, can you turn on your video so we can take a small screenshot? um, खोई कहाँ गया सब लोग? हाँ, just once. Hmm? Oh yeah. Yes. Now you can turn on your videos. Anyone? Final day यार guys, at least इतना भी आलसी मत हो. सही है. Okay, others. You all did the hard part first, which was to attend the boot camp from day 1 to day 5. और तुम लोग video on करने में you all are like feeling it very hard. Why? चलो Ayan is also there. Others? Okay, cool guys. Hey, Snigdha left. Oh, very nice. Bhaskar, Ishita, you there? Okay, Bhaskar is also there. Ishita, Himanshu, where please, like last day, please कर दीजिए ना video on. Host is also shy. क्या बोले?
Actually, the host is not shy, but actually we are having Chhat Puja, so everything is messed up, you know. Behind me there are piles of clothes and everything like that.
That's just reasons. Same here.
No reasons. We can meet physically. There's no problem. कहा था इससे start हो रहा है. There's no problem.
चलो nice. No issues. Uh, हाँ, camera shy. I'll take a screenshot. Let's just say cool. One more. चलो. Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Or we'll be announcing the winner for the giveaway pretty soon. So make sure you stay tuned for that. And yeah, see you around in the college. Or once again, thank you so much for joining in. Also, certificates, you all will be mailed, so don't worry about that. Certificate तो होते रहेगा, no issues. Yes, 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 yes. Right. And yes, once again, big thank you to our one and only Himanshu Bhaiya for uh, putting in the time and doing a lot of stuff. Because like पढ़ने का एक अलग वो होता है और पढ़ाने का अलग वो होता है, so that effort that goes in is a lot harder. So thank you so much, Bhaiya, for doing this, and thank you so much, you guys, especially for attending and being there. And hopefully we'll see you soon. Chalo. Cool. Thank you. See you. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye
Thank you.
bye. Good night.